Freax. Oh, why'd you go and say that? Freax. Your website was a mistake, yeah. Freax.
All right. Here we go. Okay, this one rocks. The caption on the original post was Pastor's Lounge erupts with Holy Ghost power. This is something that people do if you're unfamiliar with American evangelicalism. They claim the Holy Ghost enters them and they can speak in tongues and they basically just go freaking crazy. Check this out. He's got a good. Oh my God.
Hey, 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 hey.
This guy's up and he's going crazy. Notice you can't see his penis there. Cool. Awesome. By the way, this is the bare minimum necessary response I need for every joke I tell. If I can't get the group chat acting like this, then I've failed. These guys are trying to start a cult, right? Well, most of these people probably lead a cult. Literally my friends and I on drugs together in a London flat in 2017. Awesome. Excellent. All right, next up. WTF? Maybe Labubu's are demonic from At the White House, Deported Edition Labubu. Say it with me, folks. Soy occupied government. I mean, the next 10 years are going to have to be spectacular in terms of rolling things back. But the number one thing I demand from a future administration is I don't want to see them fucking making memes. I'm sick of this. No ChatGPT, no iPads. You're not allowed to make memes. Take them away. Oh, my God. Whatever epic 21-year-old Minecraft prodigy made this is definitely giggling to themselves. 17K on this, by the way, on an account with 2.6 million following. Not a banger. Not a banger. Next up. All right, speaking of insane AI bullshit, J.K. Rowling had a great one this week. Tell me again how gender identity ideology isn't homophobic. Would you trust this UK doctor who is suspended from practicing by the medical council and now heads up quasi-medical trans advocacy group Gender GP to be sympathetic to a young girl who's attracted to other girls? Okay, well, let's see what this doctor said. All right. Like this. I can't believe she said that, to be honest. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't want my doctor saying, "Foy rentrainment rich job yart." I guess this is like the mold taking over. What's going on? She didn't address this at all, by the way. What? She was just like, you know, here's how it goes. You know, you just you post something that was generated by ChatGPT and makes you look like you are going insane. This is actually what the people in the last video were saying out loud, but you couldn't tell because you don't speak ancient Babylonian. She just kept posting through it. I imagine she doesn't go back to check. I do like a significant amount of the replies are like, hey, this isn't real. And a significant amount are like blue check gender criticals that are like, right on, J.K. Rowling, you got him again. And it's like, oh, this person's fake too. It's AI all the way down. Sometimes I wish I was this delusional. Imagine how happy you'd be. Imagine how happy you'd be. You know, you have to kind of envy the delusional, right? To a degree, it's like, man, imagine how happy you'd be. Are these people happy? Oh, maybe not. Okay, I guess I could see, you know, either you are delusional enough to believe that everyone agrees with you, but you also are delusional enough to see demons around every corner. I guess it's a mixed bag, right? Little of give, a little of take. All right, next up. My son just told me he's gay. I burst into tears, but not for the reason you think. You see, I understand that statistically, men earn about 20% more than women. Marrying a man instead of a woman is simply a wise long-term financial decision. So proud of my son. Wholly true, actually true, truth nuke. This account, Chase Passive Income, it's like half and half. Sometimes they are bangers like this, sometimes they are not. But when you get a banger through, I'm like, okay, cool. I own 12,000 businesses. He's always posting about like his passive income what's it called? Vending machine business he set up in his own pantry is going crazy. Those are funny, yeah. Did you see the hotel post? Yeah, what do we got? I'll just click a couple, sure. Restaurant owners when they see me going into their restroom while realizing who owns the plumbing business next door. Skipping my 4-year-old's birthday today, not because I have to, but because 0 billionaires are on the invite list. There will be no good networking opportunities. Know what your time is worth. Guess who owns the beer vending machine with the drunk driving PSA on it? That's pretty good. And Dad, I'm hungry. You know how to use the vending machine, son. And this is exactly how I make passive income off my family. Okay, good. Next up. All right, time to talk about it. Oh. So last Wednesday, in what I have to imagine was an attempt to sneak something past Freax, Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA was shot dead at a Utah event. So I'm not going to show you the video, but if you were on Twitter at all, you saw the video. It's really horrifying stuff. Oof. It's wild. It really is. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll just read to you what's on this. Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot on September 11th while speaking at Utah Valley University, with 22-year-old Tyler Robinson arrested the next day as a suspect. Sorry, am I wrong here? Wasn't he shot September 10th, with Tyler Robinson arrested 2 days later? Grok, man. The incident has prompted national mourning, including statements from President Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. What the fuck do I care what RFK had to say about it? And vigils across the U.S. amid a reported rise in political violence with over 150 incidents in 2025. Online celebrations of Kirk's death by some users have resulted in doxing and firings in fields like education and healthcare, fueling discussions on free speech boundaries and accountability. All right, well, obviously there is going to be a trillion loaded phrases in here that we'll hopefully be able to get to over the course of this 9-hour Freaks. I guess I'll begin, I mean, sort of with my take on the whole thing. At this point, I'm assuming you all are up to speed and have both seen the guy get killed and the resultant now going on 5 days of online discourse about it. What an insane thing to say. 5 days of online discourse about an assassination, right? I don't know. I mean, it is at least a little scary, right? If you saw the video, it is really brutal. And imagining that someone can just go from living their life to completely snuffed out in like seconds. I mean, it's been rough online. You know, obviously I'm at least a little affected because this he's the same age as me. And you know, I don't consider myself a political commentator or whatever, but like, you know, I do fucking Freaks. I do videos on politics, and it's it's hard not to feel a little bit of like empathy for this guy for sure. Uh, and the video's disgusting. He leans over and just pints of blood just flow out. It's terrifying. It's got me thinking a lot about just sort of death in general. You know what I mean? Um and I don't know. We are we are alive for such a short period in the grand scale of geologic time, right? Um Before our birth, 4 quadrillion years of nothing, and after our death, another 4 quadrillion years of nothing. And we exist in like a crack of light through a door that's been left ajar. And like closing that door is like a truly cosmic kind of horror. Uh it's a thing you can't really think about too much. I think a lot of people have spent all weekend like reposting the video of this guy dying and being like, check out the life leaving his eyes, and doing like not only epic memes about it, but doing like fucking hagiography about it and being like, we'll never forget that this is what they did to it. Let me just tell you here, like, it is legitimately sick to subject yourself to that amount of death, right? What's his name? Irvin Yalom. He's a scholar with respect to death anxiety, and he likens it to staring at the sun. He's like, thinking about death is like staring at the sun. You really can't do it for too long, or you're gonna hurt yourself. So I kind of urge you all here not to spend all day watching Charlie Kirk die. Like, that's insane. It was legit just live leak this past week. It really was. It's like you load up Twitter and it's like, have you seen this guy die yet? Yes. Here's another angle. Awesome. Similarly freakish is the response online, which has largely been, like I said, this totally ahistorical hagiography of the guy, right? I don't think I can sit here and do like a banal, like, I disagreed with him, but I respected him in so many ways, because I think we made fun of Charlie Kirk like a dozen times on this show, right? Like I can't be like, well, you do have to hand it to him. I mean, we made fun of him like a dozen times on the show, right? And the thing I keep seeing online is people being like, he is a husband, he is a father, and it's like, yeah, he was those things, but like, I would imagine the motivations behind the killing weren't to snuff out a father or a husband. He was also the leader of probably the most effective recruitment tool for a new generation of very conservative Republicans, right? The understanding is that the Republican Party is aging, and in about 10 years, there just aren't going to be enough of them to sustain our current mode of like control over all branches of government. So someone's got to do the work of setting the foundation for the new generation of reactionaries, and largely that's been done by Turning Point USA, which is an organization that mostly exists for political purposes. It's the way people talk about this guy, it's crazy. You would think his goals exclusively were to have civil debate. I've seen so many people being like, "Oh, he stood for civil debate." It's like, what are you, stupid? He stood for a specific political ideology which he understood could be expressed through little TikTok clips. He was an influencer for a discrete political objective. And that objective was, without question, that, I mean, you've seen the tweets. Black individuals were better off during slavery. They don't have the brain power to be pilots or nurses. The Civil Rights Act was a huge problem. He explicitly called for the extermination of trans ideology. He called for Joe Biden to get the death penalty. Like, the reason people can't hearken to his actual political objectives is because they are very repulsive. Like, they existed to hurt others first and foremost. And in the wake of this, there has been an unthinkable move by people in the online right to find people saying as much and get them fired from their job. Right? I don't know. It's been totally insane. Like, this wasn't just some guy who was doing his best to bring realism back to debate. This was the leader of the most effective young conservatives movement in the United States, who was a friend of and consistently recommended policy to the President of the United States. Like, his ideology was actualized in policy and denigrated and humiliated millions of individuals. So, man, I don't know what this is. I don't know what we are expected to do with this. It has really got me thinking some kind of thing about the way we as Americans engage with the capital P politic, right? We are pretty much unable to divorce kind of a fundamental inhuman ethic of violence from anything we do or think. And it's like, obviously it's been there, like it's part of the skeleton that makes up the entirety of American society, but it's become so exposed in the last 10 years that, here is an explicitly violent act. This guy getting shot at a rally. People immediately try and suss out the motivations for it and come up with, well, he perpetuated state violence on others. The response from the right has been, we need to enact incredible violence on trans people. I mean, we can't think without tying it to, like, can we get a body count attached to this? And I don't know what it's going to take to decouple that from our thought processes. We're really unable to even think without invoking, like, the camps. It's shocking. There's no way you can care this much about the ethics of one guy getting murked when the United States has killed 500,000 Palestinians. So that's the thing, right? Is like, here is a visceral type of violence, and in response, people invoke the continued state violence of the United States. We cannot think without decoupling our mental models from those of, like, this very utilitarian grip of the capital V violent. I don't know. The number one group of people I, of course, am scared for right now are trans individuals, for reasons that are going to become immediately apparent. I think if any of you are feeling total doom as a result of this, and this is something that I really do not I don't invoke lightly because it affects my bottom line, but you really should get the fuck offline. Like, it is a time to take some time off of the internet where half of the country is calling for a pogrom against trans people and the other half are like, check out this loop of this guy's neck falling out. I'm not trying to say, you know, epic both sides shit. I'm saying you are going to make yourself sick being in that environment. I don't know. What if you are trans and literally cannot do that? Cannot do what? Log off? I promise you, you are not going to be well served by following up to the minute tweets. I know some people are like, for my own safety, it is important that I constantly doom scroll online. I promise that is not going to preserve your safety at this time. It is not a good use of your mental. All right. Let's talk about the specifics. I mean, every one of these posts is just about Charlie Kirk. Here we go. First and foremost, let's look at this guy. So this is the craziest one that came out this entire week. All right? Check this. Okay, so shouts out to Rat Limit, mutual of mine. This video comes from what? I think it's like TikTok Elder, a Mormon influencer who was at the event where Charlie Kirk got shot. Watch this video. The reason this video is so good is, of course, because of the cap. This is the most Conor O'Malley video I've ever seen. Check this out.
It's your boy out on TikTok. There was just a gunshot at Charlie Kirk. We're in Utah. There's a gunfire. This is not a joke. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's go. It's your boy.
Stops to hit a pose. It's your boy.
It's your boy Elder TikTok. There was just a gunfire in Utah. This is not a drill. There is a gunfire in Utah. Shots fired here in Utah. This is not a joke. Charlie Kirk, Elder TikTok, Mormon Central, Utah. There was a gun that just fired off here at Charlie Kirk. I am not playing with y'all. Hey, make sure you go to church on Sunday. Read the Book of Mormon. This is
He's plugging Mormonism. Read the Book of Mormon.
It's not a drill. I'm not playing with y'all. Hey, Jesus is Lord. Jesus will protect you. Jesus is your savior, bro. I'm not even lying. Make sure you subscribe to Elder TikTok.
But I'm not even lying. Remember to subscribe to Elder TikTok. Wait, this is crazy. My nose just started bleeding. Do they know? This is crazy. Came out of nowhere, too. Blood on this nice shirt. Anyway.
On Instagram.
Yo, I'm on Instagram. I love you. He goes,
Jesus will protect you. Jesus is your savior, bro. I'm not even lying. Make sure you subscribe to Elder TikTok on Instagram. It's your boy Elder TikTok.
that's crazy. That's like unbelievable, right? But what if I told you there was a little more to this story? He hits this pose and then logs off. The next thing he did was run over to the tent and grab the blood-soaked Charlie Kirk merch to sell on eBay. Okay, unfortunately, I mean, the only thing you can say about this is beast mode. Actually beast mode. Now, you might be wondering, is that the same guy? Yes, because you can see his stupid fucking backwards hat. Oh my God. Are they still up for sale? I imagine probably not. Depop state crisis actor. Incredible stuff. He comes out the next day. It's like,
condolences and my love.
My condolences, my love. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Elder TikTok. Subscribe to Elder TikTok. This guy just got shot. I'm going to steal his shit. Crazy stuff. Oh, my God. I want to talk about my video. That's going to be a holy relic of the Protestant church. Yeah. All right, next up. Okay, so again, to stress how important this guy was, he was a good close friend of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump showed up after his death to address the nation.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie.
But wait. This video looks a little smooth. Computer, can you enhance? Oh. Huh? Okay, so
Inspired.
Some people have described this as this is an AI image. You can see kind of some artifacting around the back of the window. I don't think it's AI. I think that they used a sort of smoothing tool to mask cuts. But clearly this video's been like crazy edited. It's really strange. Otherwise, he holds his hands in that position for like the entire video.
All who knew him
Look at the hands.
and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot.
Weird. So strange. We are going to find out. What if I told you this is a little bit of foreshadowing? We're going to find out by the end of Freax exactly why he looks this way. Okay, next up. We'll find out right now. So the day after, Trump is at a 9/11 commemoration and just looks like this. Like, I'm not trying to speculate or something, but I had to put together an AI apology for my dead friend because I've had a stroke is like, oh man, holy moly. This is Bell's palsy, surely. Bell's palsy you can be fine from, you can bounce back from, but shouts out to Bell Tolling, by the way. Are you kidding me? That's really what it says there. He's just like kind of looping around. I don't know, man. He looks terrible these days. He can't be doing well. Okay. Oh. President Trump then posted an AI image of him hugging Charlie Kirk in front of the American and Israeli flags with a banner that reads, "Great Charlie Kirk, rest in peace, Shlomo Pearl." Okay, first off, come on. I'm a mourner from Israel. Here is my picture. Second off, what is Shlomo Pearl? I had to look this up. It's not anything. It's just like AI hallucination. Shlomo Perel, or Solomon Perel, was a motivational speaker from Israel, but like, I have no idea what this means. It sounds vaguely Hebrew. Shlomo is Hebrew. But Pearl, P-E-R-L, that doesn't mean anything. He typed in Israeli flag, so it gave Shlomo. I guess, man. I understand. It's a programming language. Yeah. Just very, very weird. There is a conspiracy theory that's emerging that Charlie Kirk was actually killed by a Mossad agent because he was asking too many questions. Obviously, that's not the case, but if you saw this go up, you would feel like you were a genius, right? You're like, oh, they try not to hide it. Really weird. Next up. Okay, so let's talk about the response to this. So they decided from minute one that this tragedy was going to be used to hurt trans people. Like from the first second of it happening. Now, why is this? There's this rightoid meme that like trans people commit a significant amount of mass shootings, which is like not remotely borne out in reality, of course. Mostly supported by them just transvestigating mass shooters afterwards. They're like, oh, the Columbine kids had like a weak jawline, which means they were actually secretly trans. And so now that we have a couple of people in public office who are just actually crazy, just like have been huffing paint fumes since they were a child, they kind of absorb those from their like 17-year-old Groyper staffers. It's the iPad babyfication of our elected elite. This is one of the patient zeros of this phenomenon. Nancy Mace tweets, "Time to bring back the death penalty," and then spends the rest of the day implying that the shooter is trans. She goes on like a press release and says, "I heard the shooter was a T-slur," based on no information, by the way. Literally just lies. Here it is, yeah. And then says, "I hear they're a T-slur," or maybe pro T-slur, right? She did say both. I don't know why they're using this one. They said that the shooter was to begin with, but then it comes out that it's a white guy, and she tweets this: "We know Charlie Kirk would want us to pray for such an evil and lost individual to find Jesus Christ. We will try to do the same. We truly believe if he had ever sat down across from Charlie, the great debater, the man of faith and grace he was, Tyler wouldn't have pulled the trigger." Cool. The switch up is crazy. It's literally Family Guy profiling. Fold is insane. Oh my God. But don't worry, if you thought that this was the last we were going to hear about the shooter was secretly trans, get ready. All right, this one's crazy. So what do we know about the shooter, Tyler Robinson? This TikTok's pretty good. Describes someone who like went to school with him and knew him in passing, and I think explains what you would expect.
I went to school with this Tyler Robinson kid. I'll show y'all. That's him right there. Tyler Robinson. I'm not trying to like clout chase, make this shit about me, but I'm not gonna say I knew this kid really well. I didn't know him very well at all, but I definitely saw him for like 3 straight years in high school. And the best way I could describe him is just like a Reddit kid. I don't know, I feel like if you were in high school around that same time, and even probably now, like 2018, and then like, you know, those kinds of kids, but that's exactly what he was.
I mean, like, we all know what that is. It's like a kid that's like a little too online and is doing like Harambe memes and shit. It's like a Reddit kid, right? Like, we'll get a description a little bit later, but this seems to be kind of spot on. All right. Next up, this is from a neighbor. One neighbor said he's blind to the world and only learned about the arrest when he saw reporters and law enforcement in the street. He said, "Mother Nature is Mother Nature. Whatever she calls to do, let's do it." And he was similarly accepting when asked about Robinson. "If it's close to home, if it's 50 miles from me, it's the same damn thing. Shit happens, and that's what it is." All right, I guess the neighbor was a hermit. Fine. Anyway, the bullet casings were found with inscriptions. If you read this, you are gay, Lamau. And here, these are described by the Utah governor.
Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol and 3 down arrow symbols.
You know what this is? It's a reference to a Helldivers meme.
A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO."
Dude, what the fuck? First ever shitpost assassination? Hardly. We're not 10 years out from the person who shot up a school and wrote "sub to PewDiePie" all over their weapons. I'm sorry, like, this is just like a weird brain-rotted Reddit kid. I think this person nails it. Oh my God. But of course, they decided that they already want to blame trans people. So they have to work backwards from this. Here's Ben Shapiro on getting dog walked by fucking Bill Maher, of all people, on his show.
If there's a shooting at a synagogue, it is very likely to be either a white supremacist or a radical Muslim. If it is a shooting of a Republican politician, it is very likely to be a trans Antifa Marxist shooter.
That is
Awesome, by the way. Well, if the person shot was a Republican, it's probably a trans Antifa Marxist soldier. Oh, okay. I didn't think about it like that.
just not
That
true.
is,
We don't know what this kid is.
We do know this kid was of the left. We do know that.
We do know what?
That this kid was of the political left. That is according to contemporaneous reporting from The Guardian as well as Tablet Magazine today.
It's 2 days out. We don't
But
know shit, Ben.
but here's-
we don't know shit. They never
Here-
do. The internet is undefeated in getting it wrong to begin with.
It's
And to be clear, this is a scenario in which people were just consistently wrong after wrong after wrong about who it was and what their motivations were.
not about the internet. That's about the actual reporting by mainstream accepted. The Guardian is not a right-wing
Here's
news
what
outlet.
here's what we heard. Here's what I was told so far, and I'll tell you what was wrong. First, I heard he's a registered Republican. Not true. Okay. Then he was a donor to Trump. Not true. His father works in the sheriff's office. Not true. There was a picture of him wearing a pro-Trump shirt. Not true. Member of the Democratic Socialists of America. Not true. We don't know what he is.
Well,
How are you so sure he's of the left? Now, I agree when you write on a bullet, what did he write on the bullet? Catch this
fascist, which is
Okay.
also a gamer thing.
Okay, but
At least Ben knows that it's a gamer thing, by the way.
now I'm hearing he may have been part of that group for whom Charlie Kirk was not right-wing enough.
You mean the Groypers? Yes. I mean, so that would.
That
So
you're sure he's not that?
I'm not sure that he's not
Oh, a
that.
minute ago you were sure
well,
what
no.
he was.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on. Okay, because I've been.
You were.
Dog walked by fucking Bill Maher. I mean, you got to hang it up at that point. Who gets dog walked by Bill Maher? Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Led by the nose. No other word for it. No, I mean, it's okay. Moving on. This is. I'm sorry. Like, the press is just not good at reporting on Zoomers. They just don't know how to parse like gamer culture. I don't know if you saw this. I saw people being like, this individual was on a website called discord.gg, a gathering ground for a bunch of incel communities. And I was like, what are you talking about? This person was on discord.gg, where trans Antifa leftists have a movie night every Monday. Come on. This is this insane thread. Tyler splits a 3-bedroom apartment with roommates. One is a guy who desperately wants to be a pro gaming streamer and maybe trans identifying, and that person was cooperative with police. I've heard enough. It's transgender people's fault. The roommate was the one who claimed to have Discord messages from Tyler, but Discord proved they didn't. There's no indication they're in a relationship or that this person was trans. Okay, thanks. Moving on. Writings engraved on the ammunition said notices bulge and all this shit. People are describing the Helldivers meme in the responses. It's the inputs for a bomb. This is just the first. It started with the killer was trans. No, actually, the bullets had trans messages on them. Actually, the roommate was trans. Like, what is going on here, dog? Oh my god. And of course, it escalates from there. Oh, the shooter was trans. Oh, actually, the roommate was trans. Oh, actually, Charlie Kirk was trans the entire time. Charlie Kirk has a bio-female European skull fit and female gaits. Actually, we've decided we're blaming it on trans people. Do you need to know more? Fuck me, dude. They just created a million Charlie Kirks. No, they just created a million Adolf Hitlers. The center right died this evening. A new era. Everything is always Hitler with you, dude. Thank you, Zoomer historian. Oh my god. Well, I mean, I guess I'll post this real quick, which is me talking to Farfa about this, but the right-leaning establishment decided that it was going to be part of the evil trans narrative. They were like, we've already ramped up this narrative. We're not cutting it off now. So, you know what? Actually, a trans person did it. And the current line they're going with is, this kid lived with 3 roommates, one of which may have been trans. All right? Now, even if, and may have been in a relationship with him. Now, even if the person was trans and was in a relationship with him, that doesn't mean that that's why he killed Charlie Kirk, right? They're like, no, this trans person was an evil vizier who was whispering in his ear, saying, you must do it. Like Palpatine. In fact, that person has been cooperating with the FBI and said they didn't know shit about the attack. So, you know, if there's someone involved that seems to be squarely on the side of the FBI, it's the supposed trans roommate. But the evidence that they're in a relationship is there's a neighbor who saw them holding hands once, and the evidence that they're trans is that they thought the guy looked weird. They were like, you know what, actually, they look a little clocky, and I heard them talking about going to the doctor. And why would you go to the doctor if you weren't trans? There was also a picture with an Instagram filter, right? They took a picture and used an anime girl IG filter, which means they're trans. It's crazy, man. I hope this informs you all the direction that any of these spectacles will go. Whenever any tragedy happens ever, you immediately decide who you want to hurt, and then you work backwards until you get there. You play fucking 6 Degrees of Separation Kevin Bacon style until you find a trans person. Like, this is just how it works in America. His sister's brother's, husband's son is a communist, oh, well, his uncle's cousin's wife was black, It's actually, there was a trans person who wrote songs on YouTube using AI, and he listened to those and they subconsciously programmed him to do the shooting, right? Anyway, that's what they're rolling with now. Tyler Robinson's Spotify account includes a playlist of his favorite tracks from gender-bending artist Chani Jash, whose songs explore cross-dressing and transgenderism. Oh, he listened to the song that made you trans, and now that's why he did the shooting. I don't know, man. Oh my God. And there's an immediate call for violent retribution across the political right that is just, it is deafening and it is horrifying and it's frightening as all hell. All right. Now, I know what you're thinking. How did they get no suspects? They had the wrong guy and let him out. Shooter's trans, bullets are trans, partner's trans, Spotify account is trans. Why is there no consistency with respect to the messaging? When the governor came out, he said he lived at home. 2 days later, he said he lived with a partner that no one had heard of. Well, let's ask the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, who is leading, I would say, probably the most effective manhunt in history, now alleges that they found a manifesto, but actually you can't see the manifesto because we accidentally destroyed the manifesto, but we can prove that there was a manifesto beforehand.
Written note, was there? Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So
share
what I'm
that
able
with
to say, I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier. Is that the written note we believe what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location, in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned.
So the evidence of the manifesto that proves there was a manifesto exists in the home, but the manifesto has been destroyed?
That the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note.
So there was forensic evidence, there was a note, and we know what was on the note, but we haven't found the note because the note was destroyed.
And we have confirmed what that note...
If it was a picture of the note, they would say we have a picture of the note, right?
It says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
They interviewed someone who said they knew what the note said after they found evidence that there was a note, but you can't see the note because the note's been destroyed? Dude. Going on at the FBI, dude. Holy shit. Look at this. The note was written before the shooting. It was in the suspect's partner's home. We have since learned the note, even though it was destroyed. We have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what the note said because of our interview posture at the FBI. He didn't say whether the message was handwritten or digital or how it was recovered. Hey, you know what? Someone said there might have been a note, so now there's a note, and we knew there was a note, and we know what's on the note, but we've never seen the note, and we can't prove there wasn't a note, and so there's a note. Fucking Christ, man. Is the note trans? Do we know if the note's trans? I don't know. It smacks of the Mangione investigation, man. It's like, oh yeah, we have all this evidence where he said he did it, and you can't see it. You have to trust us that it's there. The person who revealed the note was the partner of him, which people are reporting is the evil trans, which means the trans partner told us about the note, which means that they're cooperating with the FBI, but also they're the problem and told them to do it based on nothing. It's insane. It's just unbelievable what story is emerging out of this. So, in the hours since, talking about what was, going back to what I said at the start of this specific sequence, there were just 1 trillion memes about the Charlie Kirk shooting. And, I get it. It's the internet. People have fun. They, make fun of, annoying-ass shit, right? But, I think it does something to you to watch someone die, 100 times in a row, right? And so I took some time offline. You'll note I didn't say shit about this online. I was like, man, I just don't have it in me. With the exception of that deleted tweet that I thought was, as funny as I was willing to be about it. However, a lot of people were so upset that others had made memes about Charlie Kirk's death that they made a website called charliesmurderers.com. This goes, expose Charlie's murderers. Charlie Kirk was murdered is an employee or student of yours supporting political violence online. Look them up on this website. This website was a searchable database of everyone who had uploaded a tweet or a post expressing anything but deepest sympathies for this angelic man. And, oh my God, again, I'm trying not to use my lawyer brain here, but doesn't seem like a big stretch to be like, you could put a fake screenshot up, or this website alleges that the people included are guilty of murder. This one, is no longer online because two things. One, I think they realized it was probably the biggest liability ticking time bomb of all time. And two, and I mean, this just, I think, encapsulates how fucking stupid our present moment is. The website was soft launching a crypto coin. That's right. We want to hold Charlie Kirk's murderers to account. And while you're here, if you've got a wallet, oh my. I don't know, man. What a bleak fucking universe we live in. What a bleak fucking universe. Okay. So, in the couple of days since, the immediate family has come out and said stuff. Again, like, this is one thing I do feel kind of strongly about. You got to give your Republican family members space on this. All right. They're going to spend the next couple of days being like, I can't believe our beautiful boy was taken from us. You got to just give him space on it. You know, give him some time to crash out because, like, it is a shocking thing that happened. Like, don't get immediately into, like, well, actually, you can do that in a couple of weeks, right? The immediate family had some extremely, violent responses that are like, we will finish what you started. But also had this insane thing to say. Listen to this. When she got home Thursday night, their 3-year-old daughter asked, "Where's Daddy?" I said, "Baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. On a work trip with Jesus so he can afford your blueberry budget." No shot. This guy dies, and the kid's like, where is he? Oh, he's with Jesus, trying to make some extra money because you keep eating so many fucking blueberries. Don't say that. What the fuck? I know, I don't really want to blame this wife for something she said in the moment, obviously, but does that not sound exactly like he's gone because you eat so many blueberries? I don't know. That kid's going to grow up really weird. I mean, obviously, there's just no way. Depends on how the blueberry budget works. I guess we don't know anything about the blueberry budget. Maybe the kid actually is eating too many blueberries. The child, Veruca Salt. Too soon. It's too soon. All right, next up. Well, just got fired for posting about politics. It sucks, man. My boss is an anti-revisionist Marxist-Leninist and saw me defending socialism with Chinese characteristics. He called me a dangist and told me to clean out my desk. Yeah. Owned. Okay. I think that's probably enough, Charlie Kirk. What a weird week to be online. And this next week is going to be weird as well. Before we wrap up with some lighter fare, I do want to say, seriously protect yourself during these times. It is not going to do you good to stew in, thousands of replayed images of this guy getting his fucking neck blown out. And it is not going to do you good to spend all your time doom scrolling from insane rightoids that are saying stuff like, we need to annihilate all trans people now. Like, it's time to do what you can to protect yourself, including logging off if you need to. And I can only hope that this whole thing is going to, like, we're going to be on to the next stupid shit next week for Freax. But, holy moly. It's okay. Blue Sky is just as forgiving of him. What is Blue Sky doing? I haven't even checked in on Blue Sky. What is Blue Sky doing? I guess we'll just check real quick. They're doing Chuck Norris jokes today. All right, whatever. It's like all Newsom heads, and they're like, he was a great man and a debater. I mean, that's like what I said at the beginning. You would think that this guy's legacy was he just loved civil debate. And it's like, dude, what were his positions in those debates? Until I see Charlie Kirk's 1AC, I am not going to give him that moniker. All right. Moving on from the fucking assassination that happened this week. They're remaking Danganronpa 2. Why? I don't know. Why not? But why do they move like the Lorax GIF? Look at this. Huh? Okay. Do we have the Lorax GIF? I'm gonna see if I can find the Lorax GIF. I love the Lorax GIF so much. Cool. Anyway, there's going to be a whole new wave of Nagito kinnies. So you got to watch out for them. All right, next up. Breaking. Nepal elects interim prime minister via Discord vote after Gen Z overthrew the government. Discord? Wait, I just heard that that's an evil site where they... Wait, so what's going on here? This was actually awesome. Was it? The 1,000-year Gen Z rule. That's going to be like the United States versus China of the 2050s is the millennial ethno-state in the United States versus the Nepalese Gen Z ethno-state. It's funny because they didn't elect a demagogue. They elected essentially RBG. Shit. Maybe this Discord thing ain't so bad after all. Me when Gen Z drops a nuclear warhead on the millennial states of America. That just happened. Gen Z's trying to do what? Doon, 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 doon. All right, next up. This one's crazy. So this is an interview that Tucker Carlson did where he's basically like, here's the truncated version. He basically says that OpenAI had a man killed. And then there's 6 minutes of the guy being like, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. Like, watch this.
But I think his memory and his family deserve to be treated with a level of respect and grief that I don't quite feel here.
I'm asking at the behest of his family. So I'm definitely showing them respect.
It's crazy.
Programmer who said you guys were basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy. He committed suicide.
Do you think he committed suicide?
I like he's trying really hard to be like, so did you do it?
I really do.
Have you looked?
This was like a friend of mine. This is like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this is someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time trying to, read everything I could, as I'm sure you and others did too, about what happened. It looks like a suicide to me.
Why does it look like a suicide?
He's like, no. Be a little more specific.
It was a gun he had purchased. It was this is like gruesome to talk about, but I read the whole medical record. Does it not look like one to you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle, of course. The surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back from a vacation with his friends on Catalina Island. No indication at all that he was suicidal. No note and no behavior. He had just spoken to a family member on the phone. And then he's found dead with blood in multiple rooms. So that's impossible. Seems really obvious he was murdered. Have you talked to the authorities about it?
I have not talked to the authorities about it.
And his mother claims he was murdered on your orders.
Do you believe that?
I'm asking.
I mean, you just said it, so do you believe that?
I think that it is
a possibility
worth looking into.
Yes.
And if a guy comes out and accuses your company of committing crimes, I have no idea if that's true or not, of course, and then is found killed and there are signs of a struggle, I don't think it's worth dismissing it. I don't think we should say, well, he killed himself when there's no evidence that the guy was depressed at all. I think, and if he was your friend, I would think you would want to speak to his mom or...
I did offer. She didn't want to.
Well, yeah, because she thinks you killed him.
So, do you feel that, when people look at that and they're like, it's possible that happened, do you feel that that reflects the worries they have about what's happening here? Like, people are afraid that this is like...
I haven't done too many interviews where I've been accused of like...
Oh, I'm not accusing you at all.
Honestly, sometimes you gotta hand it to Tucker. He's like, man. So a lot of people think you killed that guy. What do you have to say to those people? Well, are you accusing? Hey, I'm not saying anything, buddy. I'm staying out of this. I just, some people have questions. I just want you to...
Oh, I'm just saying his mother says that. I don't think a fair read of the evidence suggests suicide at all. I just don't see that at all. And I also don't understand why the authorities, when there's signs of a struggle and blood in 2 rooms on a suicide, like, how does that actually happen? I don't understand how the authorities could just kind of dismiss that as a suicide. I think it's weird.
You understand how this sounds like an accusation?
Of course. And
he's like, yeah, but like, I do want you to respond to
And I certainly, let me just be clear once again, not accusing you of any wrongdoing, but I think it's worth finding out what happened. And I don't understand why the city of San Francisco has refused to investigate it beyond just calling it a suicide.
I think they looked into it a couple of times, more than once, as I understand it. I saw and I will totally say, when I first heard about this, it sounded very suspicious to me.
Yes.
And I know you had been involved in...
Well, his mother
you were
reached
asked to
out
look into the case.
And I don't know anything about it. It's not my world.
She just reached out cold?
She reached out cold.
Wow.
And
he's like, and what was her name again? Yeah, just making a mental note real quick.
And I spoke to her at great length, and it scared the crap out of me. The kid was clearly killed by somebody. That was my conclusion, objectively, with no skin in the game.
And you, after reading the latest report?
Yes.
Like, look,
I immediately called a member of Congress from California, Ro Khanna, and said, this is crazy. You got to look into this. And nothing ever happened. And I'm like, what is that?
Again, I think this is, I feel strange and sad debating this and having to defend myself seems totally crazy. And you are a little bit accusing me. But,
I'm not debating. I'm just asking.
This was like a wonderful person and a family that is clearly struggling.
Yes.
And I think you can totally take the point that you're just trying to get to the truth of what happened, and I respect that. But I think his memory and his family deserve to be treated with a level of respect and grief that I don't quite feel here.
I'm asking at the behest of his family. So I'm definitely showing them respect. And I'm
He's
not
like, no, they
accusing you
asked me
of
to
any
ask you
involvement
right
in this at
now.
all. What I am saying is that the evidence does not suggest suicide, and for the authorities in your city to elide past that and ignore the evidence that any reasonable person would say adds up to a murder, I think is very weird, and it shakes the faith that one has in our system's ability to respond to the facts.
So what I was going to say is, after the first set of information that came out, I was really like, man, this doesn't look like a suicide. I'm confused. This looks like...
Okay, so I'm not reaching, I'm not being,
He's like, yeah, right?
being crazy here.
Well, but then after the second thing came out and the more detail, I was like, oh, okay.
What changed your mind?
The second report on
what in
the way the bullet entered him, and the sort of person who had like followed the sort of likely path of things through the room. I assume you looked at this too.
Yes, I did.
And what about that didn't change your mind?
It just didn't make any sense to me. Why would the security camera wires be cut? And how did he wind up bleeding in 2 rooms after shooting himself? And why was there a wig in the room that wasn't his? And has there ever been a suicide where there's no indication at all that the person was suicidal, who just ordered takeout food? I mean, who orders DoorDash and then shoots himself? I mean, maybe.
Good interview. All I gotta say is really good interview. Frame one of the interview. He's like, so did you kill this guy? What? No, I just want to know. Did you kill him? I'm just asking. I'm not saying you killed him. I just want to know. Holy shit. Oh, man. Okay, last thing. Folks, the virtual boy is fucking back. All right, so this week Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct where they revealed a bunch of Pokemon shit. And then at the very end, they said, we are bringing back the Virtual Boy. So if you're unfamiliar with the Virtual Boy, first off, you're not a true millennial, all right? Watch AVGN Virtual Boy. It's required viewing. The short of it is, this stand-up piece of shit was a short-lived successor to like the Game Boy, or a predecessor to the Game Boy or whatever, that played 3D games by strapping this shit around your head like a sissy hypno helmet. It played in red, black, like vectory 3D graphics. It has 14 games total, and it was a giant failure, despite the fact that it has an actually good game on it, which is let me see if I can find it. One of the Wario lands, right? Has like Wario Land 1. There's a few. Yeah. So it is now re-coming out, and you'd think, oh, they're porting the red and black games to the eShop. No. It's just the system. And it downloads the games onto it. It's shipping with 14 games, and the rest will eventually be added to it. You need Nintendo Online. Now, I know what you're thinking. The technology for this has become so much better in recent years. Like, why would you ever buy this stupid fucking thing? You can watch pornography in VR by strapping your phone to your head with a piece of tape. Like, why would you ever buy this thing? Well, you can buy a cardboard version you slam your Switch into for $30. Oh, man. I just don't know what to say. Fuck it. Labo never left. Exactly. Yeah, the other one is also a Switch deck, by the way. It is not its own console. You need to have a Switch for this to work. Cool. Honestly, I want one really bad. Do you think you can goon with this? Can you buy, like, off the eShop, the, like, Princess Peach -8 animations? All right. Gage would find a way. I believe in him. Thus ends Freax.